Hello, everybody. So, welcome or welcome back. I really, really appreciate you being here. Something funny just happened a little while ago. I did this episode, I recorded the whole thing, but I didn't realize that my microphone was like off to the side and it barely had any audio at all. So I put all this energy and all this stuff into this episode, and then I realized I have to do it again. So in the past, and here's what a lot of people do, and here's why you're here, and here's why I do this. It would have been really easy for me to say, oh my God, you're such an idiot. I can't believe you didn't check your microphone before you got started. You didn't even see that it was all the way over there. I mean, my bully voice could have really gone at me. But when I noticed, I was like, oh man, you're okay. I guess you're doing it again. And that's no big deal. If that's the worst thing that happens today, that I have to redo this episode because my microphone didn't record the audio correctly. I mean, come on. What an awesome day that's going to be if that's the biggest problem that I have. So when I put it into perspective, yes, I can get down on myself and I can think, oh, can't believe you did that. Or stuff happens. So I redo it. Big deal. And you know what? Maybe I'll think of something this time that I didn't put in there last time. You never know, but we're about to find out. So here's what I'm talking about this week. I've had a couple different situations happen over the last few days, and it just kind of brought into light what it is that I want to talk about. And that is the concept that you are never stuck. A lot of times we feel stuck. We feel, oh, I can't get out of this job. I can't find a new relationship. I'm not going to be able to move anywhere else right now. I'm stuck in this house. I'm stuck doing this. We feel stuck. And I'm here to tell you, you are not stuck. When I look at those times in my life where I felt stuck, I wasn't stuck. I was scared. Think about that for a minute. Are you really stuck? Or are you scared? Is it scared of making a change? I'm afraid of getting out of this relationship. I'm afraid of quitting my job and finding another one. I'm so comfortable. I'm not happy, but I'm comfortable. It's like you get comfortable sleeping on a bed of nails after a while, but do you really want to sleep on a bed of nails or do you want to go get another bed? So we have choices. Life is about choices. Life is about looking at all the different scenarios we have in our life and finding the one that fits us best. And you know what? Sometimes something fits for a while, but then it doesn't fit anymore. I mean, it happens all the time. I just thought of a great analogy. As kids are growing up, they have their very comfortable clothes, but after a while they don't fit. And as you're growing emotionally and mentally and spiritually and doing all these things to take better care of yourself, you're growing. So with some of these things, you're going to have to change your clothing in order to find what fits you now. Even crabs and lobsters and sand crabs, they have to leave their comfortable shell and the safety of their shell to go find another one because they've grown. Don't stay stagnant and be where you are. If you know that there's something better out there for you, go for it. Make it happen. You can do this. I say it all the time. If I can go from where I was to where I am, anything is possible. So no, you are not stuck. Yesterday I was at work at my very cool Disney job, and I was talking to one of the people that I work with. It was the beginning of the shift, and I said, "Hey, how you doing today? Are you ready to go make some magic?" And he said, "Yeah, I guess so." I was like, "What? What do you mean you guess so? Do you like being here?" "No, not really." "Well, what would you rather do? Where would you rather be?" "Nowhere. I just work to pay the bills, and it doesn't really matter." And I remember thinking, God, that is so sad because he's such a good guy and he's really good at what he does. And if he uses his skill set for something that he finds a passion in, he's going to be spectacular. But he feels like he's stuck. Yeah, I guess I'm just here. And it's sad because it doesn't have to be. And I know people, so many people who feel stuck in their jobs and stuck in their relationships. And that's not what it is. It's you're afraid. And the fear is valid and it's okay because making changes is difficult. Making changes is scary. So it's okay, to honor your fear. It's valid. Your fear, it serves you well, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's important to look for the things that do serve you presently. And what I have found is when I say, okay, I'm going to make this change, all of a sudden the universe goes, oh, finally, and it goes whoop, and it fills me with all these different tools and things that are wonderful and gifts and so many things that help me to make those changes. And if I just feel stuck, then I'm not going to be able to experience the gifts. And I watch some people who rely on blind faith. Blind faith? Yeah, I think it is blind faith. They just say, oh, I have faith. Everything's going to work out. No, you need to take steps to make it work. The universe or God or whatever it is will provide you with the tools. What is God helped us win the game? No, God doesn't choose sides and chose your team over the other team. God gave you both the tools to do your very best, and one team prevailed over the other. That does not mean that God chooses the Chiefs over the Dolphins. I mean, that's not how faith works. And it's sad when I watch people think that that's how it works. Oh, God gives you all the gifts. The universe gives you all the gifts to be successful in every aspect of your life. But you also need to trust in yourself because you're the one who took the footsteps in order to make it happen. I hear people say, oh, God kept me sober. God didn't keep you sober. God gave you the tools for you to walk the path in order to be sober. So that's what it's about. It's okay to give yourself credit. It's okay to be confident in your own abilities as you learn and grow and develop. The path is there for you to walk, but you're the one walking it. I was telling this story to someone last night. One of the things I used to do in my presentations is, I'd be in front of an audience and I would say, here's how you succeed in life. Here's a copy of my book. And I hold up my book. Who wants this book? And about 40 hands go in the air. I'm like, okay. And I hold up the book. Who wants the book? Who really wants the book? And they raise their hand. Now, a few more people raise the hand. I'm like, but who wants the book? And finally, it usually takes a few minutes. Somebody will get out of their seat and walk up to the stage and take the book out of my hands. And I say, this is the person who really wanted the book. It's the footwork that you put into these changes that are going to bring your success, not just sitting in your seat going, oh, I want it. I want it. Really? How hard are you willing to work for it? I have worked so hard to get to this place in my life. It has not been easy. I have put up with so much crap from family, from friends, from bosses, from so many people. No, not friends, because I choose my friends, people who are going to support me. But it's amazing how many times people are going to try to knock you down when you try to make changes in your life or when you do your best to make changes. Happens all the time. And you can listen to them or listen to your heart and go for it. Another story I love to tell, which really illustrates the point of utilizing the tools that are in front of you. It's the story of the man who turns on the TV and there's a news flash. Get out of the town. The floodwaters are rising, and whatever means you can get out now because the floodwaters are coming. And the man says, but that's okay. I'm going to be all right. I have faith that everything's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, a truck comes by, knocks on the door. Come on. I'll get you out of here. The floodwaters are coming. And the man's like, no, thank you. I appreciate it. But no, I have faith that God's going to take care of me. I'm going to be all right. The truck's like, all right. And the guy leaves. Little while later, the floodwaters rise, and now he's on his second floor because his first floor is flooded. And he's looking out the window at the floodwaters rising, and someone comes by in a boat, says, hey, get in the boat, I'll save you. The floodwaters are going to get worse. And he said, no, I'm okay, really. God's going to save me. I'm a devout person, and I know that God's going to take care of me. The guy's like, all right. And he takes off in the boat. Little while later, the floodwaters are rising even more. He gets on his roof, and he's on his roof looking around going, wow, the waters are really rising. And a helicopter comes. And on a megaphone, they say, grab the ladder. We'll raise you up here. The man said, no, that's okay. God's going to save me. I believe in God. Everything's going to be okay. And the helicopter's like, all right. And the helicopter leaves. Floodwaters continue to rise, and the man drowns. And he gets to heaven. And he's up there, and he says, God, I believed in you my whole life, and you let me drown? And God said, what do you mean, let you drown? I sent you a truck, a boat, and a helicopter. You turned them all down. Yes. It's okay to have faith. It's important to have faith, but know that it's important to look for the tools that are around you. And when the tools are right in front of you, grab onto them, because those are the gifts that we get. And if you turn them down, you're going to feel stuck. And you are not stuck. Oh. You know, I'm about to make a really major move in my life. And I'm scared, and I'm anxious, and a little bit angry. A little bit. It pops up every now and then. But I'm excited, and I'm curious. You know, curiosity is a wonderful feeling to have. When you step into a situation that you're unsure of, it's like, oh my God, how's it going to go? What's going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. If you come at it with, I'm really curious to know how this is going to go, it kind of releases all of the anxiety. Curiosity is wonderful, an amazing tool to use when you get into situations. So how do I really feel about this move? I'm curious. I am really curious to know how this is going to go. It's either going to be hugely successful, or I am going to crash and burn hard. But you know what? I have faith that the tools are going to provide themselves, and they are. Oh, the amazing things that have happened since I've made this shift, and just the thought of the shift has brought in all these amazing gifts, such as, out of the blue, I got an email, and I don't usually answer these emails, but I decided to answer this one because it was about this service that's out there called the TTN. And I never heard of them. And I thought at first it was like a spam kind of an email. And I opened the email, and it was, hi, Randy, haven't connected with you in a while. I want to tell you about this great opportunity. And it was from a person, I didn't recognize the name. I didn't know who it was. But you know what? I suffer from a severe case of CRS. I don't know if any of you do too. CRS, can't remember shit. So I suffer from a severe case. So I didn't remember who this person was, but something about the email intrigued me. I was curious. So I answered the email. I would like to hear more about this. And she wrote back. She said, I'm so happy to hear you want to hear about this. Let's find a time to connect. Let's do a Zoom call. I was like, oh, okay, this better not be some kind of a BS thing. Okay, fine. I don't have anything going on Wednesday except doing my episode. So, because I always record these on Wednesday. I don't know when they come out, but I record them on Wednesday. So Wednesday's record day. And I did the Zoom call. She goes, oh my God, Randy, it is so good to see you. How have you been? And I said, I am really, she goes, oh, you don't remember who I am, do you? I said, I am so sorry. No, that's okay. It's been like 10 years. It's like 10 years. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. And she reminded me, and I was like, oh, I remember you. And we talked for a while and what's going on. And she said, oh, I'm so excited to be here with TTN. It is so exciting. It's the Transformation Network. And we bring on hosts that do YouTube programs and podcasts that are all about transformation. And I watched some of your episodes, and I saw your TED Talk, and I think you would be a great addition. I'm like, all right, let's explore even more, because I'm still curious. So we started talking about it, and all of a sudden it turns into, and this is what I'm going to be doing with them. I'm not just doing one show with them, I'm doing two, because they're starting a recovery network. So I get to do a show on recovery now, which is awesome. I mean, I love talking about self-esteem and feeling better about who you are and where you fit in the world and getting rid of the obstacles, turning walls back into hurdles and all the things that I talk about here. But I love talking about recovery too, because one of the things that I've learned in my own recovery is that there's a difference between just being sober and being in recovery. Being in recovery is a lot more difficult. Being sober is difficult, but a lot of people are doing it. And I really believe it's the difference between relying on ego and building self-esteem. So I'm going to be doing a whole show on recovery, and I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet. We'll see. I'm thinking recovery warriors. Ooh, that'd be fun. But we'll see. But it's a gift when I opened up to, okay, I'm going to make this change and make my shift, but it's going to be a lot more expensive out there. How am I going to make that work? And then I was like, I wonder how. And I'm going to start doing more coaching, and I'm going to put more energy into my coaching practice. So I'm really excited now about what's going to happen once I get to my new spot. So I'm scared, I'm anxious, but I'm curious. And I'm excited about the changes that are going to happen. And I'm going to be closer to my daughter. So I'm really, really excited to get calls saying, hey, can I come over and do laundry at your place? Absolutely. So big changes, and every change brings fear with it, but it depends how much you want to feed your fear or how much you want to feed your excitement or your curiosity, because both are in your hands. I think I talked about in a prior episode the white wolf and the black wolf and how they're always battling with each other. And the story is like, well, which one wins the battle? And the answer is whichever one you feed. Do you want to feed the white wolf, which is full of love and happiness and joy and excitement? Or do you want to feed the black wolf, which is fear and anger and all of those negative emotions? Which one do you want to feed? So this is your task for this week, to look at areas where you're thinking, I'm stuck, and you are not stuck. How can you make these movements? How can you do that? I just got an email from another person who's been watching these. And I've had a couple this week, and I've had so much positive reinforcement about this. And my audience is small right now, which I'm very okay with, because it means that I can give you more individual attention. So if you do have a question or a thought or something you want to share with me, now is the time, because my people are telling me, once I get on TTN, apparently I'm going to be like really, really busy with my coaching and work and all that. And it might be more difficult for me to get back to people and write to them. But right now, I can write to everybody. I write back to everyone who writes to me. So if there's anything I can do to support you and assist you on your journey, please let me know what that is, because I love answering my emails and I love working with people one-on-one. That's why I'm going to start putting more energy on my coaching, because I love that one-on-one interaction of watching people grow and change and do those things. So it's why I'm here. I was wondering, God, earlier in my life, in my early 20s, and when I first got sober, it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? And everyone in my life was like, what's wrong with you? And why can't you, do something with your life? And you're so smart. Why can't you? And then later I found out, number one, I suffer from a severe case of ADD. And that's why I always struggled in school, because it was very difficult for me to focus. And when I finally figured it out, I started, with medication and therapy again and all that. And all of a sudden it was manageable and I felt better. And then I did some coaching. I got personal coaching, because if I'm going to be a coach, I need to get coaching so that I can better learn how to be of service to you. So I believe that I need to, get out there and do it. Oh, I just thought of another story. Do I have time for another story? I do. Okay. Another story, because I feel like if I'm going to ask you to do something or tell you that this helps, I want to be able to do that in my own life first, so I can tell you what my experience is. So here's the story that goes along with that. There are two brothers, and they wanted to know what an orgasm was all about. So one of them went to school and was a researcher and researched everything there was to know about the orgasm and interviewed people and did studies and all of this stuff. He was the worldwide expert on the orgasm. And his other brother went out and had one. Which one is the expert? I know it's a weird. If I could come up with another one that was as graphic and could tell that story just as succinct, I would use it. But that one seems to be the best and the most descriptive. So there you go. But yeah, I want to go out and have one before I tell you about it. So yes, I do my research too, but I want to do both because I want to give you the best because you deserve the best and you are not stuck and you can make movement. And I keep learning all these iterations of who I am and how I'm supposed to be of service. You know, when I was a counselor in treatment centers, when I was working at the United Way agency, and then I moved into higher education and working with college students and being a university administrator and then being a speaker. As that started to take off, I started to shift and move and grow. And I opened a business as a sober living creator. And that didn't go so well. So I learned a lot about that. I learned that I don't do well having a business. So I have no business having a business. So I've learned how to come into my own. And here I am now, 64 years old, reinventing my next iteration. And if I can do it now, you can do it now. You are not stuck. So let me know how I can support you and help you. There are a variety of ways. Join our community, Club 528. You can find it on the website. There's a lot of support there. I can help with coaching. My book is on Amazon. So let me know how I can support and help you. So the message today, the main message, you are not stuck. So I wish you all the best. I will be back next week with another episode. And until then, take care of yourself. Treat yourself more like your own BFF rather than your own worst bully. And I'll see you again. Take care. Bye.